Hey, what's up? This is Mia and welcome to Cranberry Vintage. Today we're going to go over the lesson learned for year 3. So let's begin. You guys, so if you notice I said year 3, you're probably looking at my videos and going, what happened to year 2? Yeah, I know it's missing. We're going to combine year 2 and year 3 together so we can catch up. I try to do a lessons learned each year to really evaluate what I've done and how we can do better the following year. So for those that are new to the channel, I'm on a mission to make my home more productive and live a more self-sufficient and simple and sustainable lifestyle. By doing that, I'm just taking different steps to turn my urban home into a homestead. When you're amongst others in an urban setting, it can be difficult, but it's not as impossible. It's just ways that you have to do it, and that's what we're going to talk about today. First lesson learned that I have is your work schedule really plays a part. From past homesteaders I've seen, they were able to build their homestead, and one of the reasons why is because they had to really break away from everything, like let go of jobs and let go of just anything that was taking up a lot of their time. They had to reduce it, let go of it, or make some modifications and so forth and so forth. Now I understand why, because I work in IT during the day. I'm also a teacher and some other things that I like to do. The biggest component that takes up a lot of my time is working in IT. And when it was during the COVID, when everybody was at home, it was a lot easier for me to be in the yard because I was at home working. So my job has been taking up a lot of my time. Now, how does that affect my homestead? Easy. It prevents me from doing everything that I want to do in my yard. So for instance, because I've been at work so much and I've been getting off late sometimes, I have not been able to get into my yard like I wanted to. So sometimes, in some cases, things grew wild as they did last year. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing in some cases, but it definitely helped me realize that it's kind of a situation where you can't serve two masters. So it's not really for the faint of heart. If you're going to dive into this lifestyle, you definitely have to be willing to make some modifications. The second thing is the shade is not our friend. Cool weather crops like my cabbage, my kale, and other greens did very well. However, my tomatoes, my green peppers, all my other vegetables grew very, very, very slowly. So like a couple of weeks ago, my tomatoes and peppers just started growing, just a couple of weeks ago. That also can go hand in hand with our weather. We stay in St. Louis, so you just don't know how the weather's gonna be. With that and shade, a lot of shade, it can cause some conflicts when it comes to your garden. Now, let me say, my pollinator garden over here did fabulous. It did, I mean, amazing. You saw the banana palm that I showed you and everything. Crazy. But my vegetables didn't do so hot, so shade is not our best friend in this element. Number 3, the space is larger than I realized. So it's funny because when we first did this design, I was like, cool, it's a nice small space, we can start off, blah blah blah, it's great. However, when weeds start growing at a fierce rate, you realize you have a huge yard. And that's what happened to me. I realized after everything started piling up, it started raining, and I can't control the rain, you know, I'm not a storm. I realized that I really need to reconsider the space and how I'm going to utilize the space. Number 4, the location of the veggies matter. So when I initially started my garden, my pollinator was in the front, and later on when I decided to do vegetables, they were pushed towards the back. That's cool sun-wise because we do get a little bit more sun back there. However, it's a downfall because if I have to pick vegetables or bring them in the house, I literally have to walk a nice distance to get to my garden, versus it would have been better if it was closer down to where I can access it easier. Number 5, I am learning to do what I love. I realize that I'm a visionary by default, so I can always see the big picture on things. I'm starting to get myself to the point where, yes, the vision is cool, yes, the vision is possible, but you have to take baby steps in order to reach that goal or to get to the bigger picture. I wanted to do so much. I had like 20, 30 different things I wanted to do. I'm being over exaggerate this situation, but I had a crap load of things I wanted to do. Because now I'm able to take a step back and go, you know what, I don't want to get burned out on trying to go for this vision, trying to go for this goal. So let me take a few steps back and start small. Now that I've gotten that out the way, if you've gotten this far in the video and you haven't subscribed, you might as well go ahead and do it. You family now. I'm gonna give you a virtual hug right now. Now that I've showed you that, let me go ahead and tell you the resolution I want to put in place. Make sure I actually want to do a container garden on our porch area. It's way smaller, and it gives me the opportunity to actually be closer to the garden, to come out and water it and actually see how it does and just see how things grow. For the boxes that are going to be open, we're just going to turn that into a pollinator garden. We're going to extend the pollinator garden. Another thing that I actually want to change is I'm going to reduce it down to 2 things that really means a lot to me, and that's cooking and food preservation. Looking at my budget for the past few months, that has been a huge contribution to a lot of money being spent. Now, gardening does go with that, but considering that I'm going down to a container garden, I'm going to also look into other opportunities, such as going to local farms, going to local food markets, and so forth, buying in bulk if I can, and actually preserving that food long term. This year taught me to be honest with myself. Let me say this, I'm not eliminating what's necessary, I'm eliminating the unnecessary. And thank you for listening. If you have not already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. I really appreciate you guys. So with that said, have an awesome day and stay super-tastic.